Jacques Mage is one of the world's hottest eyewear brands, and in today's video you're going to be hearing exactly what I think about their glasses. But not only that, I'm going to be reacting to an interview that the founder of Jacques Mage did recently and telling you what I really think about the man behind the brand. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And for many of my clients based all over the world, they send in their JMM frames for us to perfect. And I've previously rated them as a legendary brand, even though they are one of the newest eyewear brands, especially in the luxury space. But with that meteoric rise, maybe comes a little bit of arrogance. And after all, there's a reason why we don't stock them. Well, at the end of this video, I'm going to be revealing that reason. I'm going to be explaining exactly why we don't sell JMM frames, so stick around for that. But let's get started and talk about this particular pair. Sent in by Ben. Thank you, Ben, for trusting me with this. Because this is such a beautiful, sumptuous frame with the gorgeous deep red burgundy acetate, we kept it fairly simple with the lenses. These are a great adaptive sun lens with a ruby flash. The ruby flash obviously ties everything together with that burgundy color, and the grey tint just keeps the lens fairly neutral behind it. What the adaptive sun technology will mean, Ben will have the best sun protection you can get. These lenses are the darkest in the world, they go up to 97%, as well as a very wearable tint indoors. These fade back to a 75% gradient, which is very much equivalent to the 50% solid tint that I was wearing at the start of this video. That means that these glasses will not only be an excellent pair of sunglasses, but they'll be usable indoors as well. So that was the project. But what about the frames themselves? Jacques Mage may be from LA, but the frames are handmade in Japan, and they are made to pretty much the highest level of craftsmanship. We see on the acetate this sculpting and this beveling that's done around the interior of the lens rim, around the exterior of the lens rim, and on the temples as well. These contours just make a really beautiful effect that catches the light perfectly. And it's not just that beveling that achieves that, it's also the level of polish that's achieved on these frames. That can only be done by the best craftsmen in Japan. Add to all that the gold temple inlay, which shines through the semi-transparent acetate and ties in with the gold rivet embellishment on the front, the gold hinges on the inside, and on top of all that, the fact that it's a numbered limited edition, this is number 143 of 250, all of that contributes to an incredible piece of eyewear. In terms of comfort, maybe not so much. JMM frames are very weighty. They certainly are durable thanks to the, what is this, there's too many barrels on this hinge to count, but I'm gonna give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 barrel hinge. That is one of the sturdiest and most solid hinges that I've ever seen in a pair of glasses, and maybe overkill, but it does make them very durable. So all that being said, they are an incredible pair of glasses. And I was intrigued recently when I heard Jacques Mage speaking to a friend of mine, Tariq from Scene Opticians, which is not too far away from here. Those guys sat down together and had an interview. And of course, I was very interested to see it. But the more I watched it, the more I realized that actually, I don't necessarily agree with most of it. And I thought you guys deserved an inside perspective from someone in eyewear about what is real and what might be a bit of embellishment. Hopefully you'll see what I mean as we go through. But I want you to watch this with me, and I'm going to give you my honest feedback on what Jacques Mage has to say.
Since 2014, you've changed the eyewear game, I think.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Not very focused on that part.
Okay.
I'm mostly focused on the next 10 years.
Okay. But you must be aware that of the impact you've had.
I'm aware because there's so many companies that copy me in a heartless, disgraceful manner. Can I say their name?
Of course you can.
I will not, but I think, especially the last year, it's been a bit hard to see.
I find that a really sad answer. All art, all creativity, and it's particularly true in the glasses world, everyone inspires each other. Tariq's just asked you, are you proud of the last 10 years? You should be really proud. You've created one of already the most iconic eyewear brands, one of the most loved eyewear brands with thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of collectors who are more passionate about your glasses than pretty much any other brands following. You've inspired other brands to come out with chunky acetates, and you've brought that look back to eyewear, and you've changed the landscape of fashion. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, and take the compliment. And it's not like any of those brands are doing as well as you are.
If you are inspired by our work, if it motivates you to do a better job for yourself, that's one thing. But I think there's many companies now that absolutely don't care, and it's just imitation.
Let's not forget, JMM didn't invent bold acetate frames. It's not like this is revolutionary. They are beautiful and they are landmark in their scope of quality. I will give them that, especially in the packaging. But it's not like this look is exclusive to JMM, like no one had done this before. Robert Laroche did this decades ago. Cazal have done bold frames decades ago. So yeah, I'm not sure I buy into that.
What's interesting is, and I always say that, and I think that's a big difference with our competitors, I don't design for 2025. I'm working on next Silmo collection, but that's not my interest. I'm designing for the second, third generation that is going to discover those glasses.
Yeah.
That is one of the beautiful things about high-end frames. They are an object of beauty in and of themselves. Aside from the fact that you wear it on your face, it is something that you can pass down to people if it's good quality and it lasts. Now, it's not like JMM are the only brand that applies to. I think RLM described their glasses as heirloom glasses, and I love that.
The quality is built to last forever.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with that. It is stunning quality. They are designed to last. No arguments there.
Because it's just like a fine watch or a fine wine, it keeps getting better.
Okay.
And
again, I agree with that. Quality is quality, and craftsmanship will always be admirable. And it's a beautiful thing to think that you're buying a pair of glasses now, and it's not just for now, it's for the future, and it's maybe for your grandkids. I think that is lovely, and that is something, you know, when I recommend to a client a pair of $1,000, $2,000 frames, that's absolutely in my mind. I don't think you can justify spending that on something you're going to wear for a year or two. Arguably, because yeah, if you're wearing it every day, you probably are getting your money's worth from it. But for me, to spend that much on a product, it does need to last far longer than the average lifespan of a pair of glasses. And JMMs definitely do.
it's not just a pair of eyewear.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. It's storytelling. It's our common heritage.
I agree that that is what a great pair of glasses can be as well. When people ask you about your glasses, having a little story to tell them about them, it's quite a beautiful thing. Just a quick note, I think me and Jerome are wearing the same watches. It looks like a tank on his right arm. So seems like we might have more in common than you might think.
You're a collector yourself, right?
I'm a huge collector.
BMXs, I think?
Everything.
Okay.
Native American, First Empire, BMX, motorcycles, historical books, jewelry, watches, eyewear. I have more than 2,000 pairs.
You have more than 2,000 pairs of glasses? I'm going to call him out on that. Jerome, no, you don't have 2,000. I don't think you have 2,000 pairs unless that includes stock of your own product. I'd love to be proven wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong, but I find that hard to believe.
What is it like in the atelier? Can you give them a sense of how much
work? It's incredibly difficult to make a pair of Jacques Mage. One of the most difficult process in the world, probably.
I think it is difficult. Is it the most difficult? I don't think these frames are as intricate as, say, JFRA. Is it as difficult to work with as, say, leather that's used in Luca de Stelle? But for an acetate frame and for the titanium frames, yes. For that level or that type of glasses, yeah, they probably are the most masterfully made, along with Masanaga, of course. 150,
at least 150 steps that are done by hand. Imagine every time out of those, there's 300 steps to make a pair of eyewear.
I always find it a little bit annoying when a brand says that it takes 100, 150 to 300 steps to make one of their frames. Because let's be honest, some of those steps are bending the temple. Some of those steps are putting the screw in the hinge.
It's so hard to get those surfaces to be flat, polished, beautiful, to reflect the light of the sun, you know, I mean, the power of life, what powers Earth. So ateliers, they always say, Jerome, there's a Toyota line for everyone else, and there's a Lexus high-end luxury line for Jacques Mage.
Part of the problem that I have with JMM, not him personally, but the cult of JMM, because he says stuff like this and his followers believe it. There are other brands that are on this level. Like I said, Masanaga, especially with their new Master of Craft collection, arguably a step up.
Do you think the JMM fans of Scene will ever have the chance to see you in our store, maybe?
Yeah, of course. You know, I should come
we can make it
more
happen.
to the UK. It'd be my pleasure to visit
We should
you guys.
make it happen, yeah?
Yes, we should, no doubt.
And I hope you'll visit us as well. We're only just down the road from Tarek's store. I think we make quite a good team. I'd love to talk about your glasses more on this channel. Anyway, that's the end of that interview. I told you right at the very end of this video, I'd be explaining why we don't sell Jacques Mage. Well, you've heard me critique what Jerome has to say about his brand. You've also heard me lord over the incredible beauty of his glasses. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story, and it's definitely a window into the world of eyewear and how it works. So, as I imagine is the case in a lot of industries, it's all about who you know. I'd been following JMM. I picked them up probably about 2 years after the brand was founded, kind of end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I actually reached out to the UK distributor of Jacques Mage at the time. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but she had very close ties to a competitor store of ours who happened to sell a lot of Jacques Mage glasses. And I told her that we wanted to become a stockist, and she said, okay, but she did everything possible to put us off from doing that. I've tried writing to JMM, the brand, they're no longer accepting new stockists. I don't think politics should be standing in the way of the clients we serve, who I think are the most discerning eyewear lovers around the world, many of which admire JMM and want to buy their Jacques Mage glasses through us and have them customized with the perfect lenses, which only we do. That's not how it should be. It should be the best stores around the world sell your product. Do you not agree? I think we should have a conversation. And I know how it works. I know that the right stockist, you will make an exception. And if you think that that conversation should be had, make sure you mention it in the comments below. Let me know what you think of that. Frankly, I think hideous politics that exists in our industry, as I'm sure it does in others. But that about wraps it up, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can see the balanced perspective on this amazing eyewear brand. Let me know what you think of Jacques Mage. I would love to hear your thoughts both on the interview, on the glasses, and especially on what I've had to say. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more of the best eyewear content on the internet. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye bye.